Let me welcome you to the smoke box. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.
They're making laws to kill us. How can we tolerate that? Fuck them.
No, you can't.
Fuck them.
You can't. You gotta fight. You gotta fucking
with knowledge.
Create awareness with knowledge and pass that knowledge on.
Exactly.
And make people and turn people on.
Exactly.
And that, you know, that's the best way you can fight it without violence anyway.
But again, you see, that's what's always happened. Cooperation of molecules is what leads to life.
Right.
Cooperation of molecules within life leads to advancement. Yeah. And yet we have governments that do nothing but build weapons and argue and fight? And we're supposed to respect them while they're telling us that this is dangerous? They're fucking dangerous. They should be outlawed.
I must agree.
And this is what I call blips and flips. Backward-looking people don't make enough cannabis. They're the primitive people.
Right.
Whereas the flips are the forward-looking people. The world is run by blips. They're uptight assholes.
True.
Trying to control everything because they don't make enough pot. They're like the mice shivering in their fear.
Yeah.
Fuck all of them.
What do you think the biggest misinformation they've put out in relation to cannabis that you find totally ridiculous? I mean, there's a list, but what do you think
Everything that they say.
Yeah, everything they say, yeah.
Because you gotta understand, their whole way of thinking is backwards.
Right.
You know, you go to the doctor's not gonna try to cure you. He's gonna, as you said, try to relieve you of your symptoms.
Yeah.
And why? Because they don't know what life is. Look, would you bring your car to a mechanic who didn't know how a car worked?
No.
But we go to doctors who don't know how life works.
Right.
And then we bow down while we shovel out the money. Fuck that.
They're there to heal you, not to cure you.
No, they're not to heal you.
And there's a big difference. And not even to heal you. You know, just to keep you going.
They want your money.
To
and
keep
as
you
long
going,
as you're alive, they can get
yeah.
money.
Because if they cure you, you're not coming back.
But they don't know how to cure you because they don't know what that even means.
I think if they did know how to cure you, they would not. Just because
there's good doctors and bad ones.
No, I just think because there's no money in it for them.
That's right.
It's you're a lost patient, a lost number, a lost.
No, because there are doctors who are treating people with cannabis, giving them proper nutritional advice. There's holistic doctors.
See, but the difference between those doctors and the other ones is that those ones aren't under the wing of pharmaceutical companies.
They escape.
They're not in those ties. They've said, you know what? I'm gonna do this for the people. I'm gonna prescribe them cannabis. I'm not gonna be in the pocket of these pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, those people with integrity.
Yeah, there are doctors with integrity, but like
many
when you look at the average.
Yeah, they're out of it.
They're a very small percentage, but hopefully, well, I don't say hopefully. I think a lot of people are getting, aware and turned on to what is going on. So I believe that a lot of doctors will switch up, which will put the pharmaceutical companies in a interesting position, because when doctors decide maybe there's more money in prescribing cannabis than these over-the-counter drugs.
The doctors are only going to do what makes them money. And if you're cannabis deficient, because half the population is going to make more than others and half is going to make less.
You can't grow enough ever.
You're fucked always. You can't get that open-mindedness and embrace change.
Yeah.
And it's a big problem because, see, science is progressing so rapidly, even though they don't understand what life is. This tremendous technology and analytical abilities. And if we can now shape that into something functional by understanding really the principles that were brought forth by Ilya Prigogine, who got the Nobel Prize in 1977 for what's called far from equilibrium thermodynamics. A science that basically says molecules cooperate as long as energy flows. Well, so that's what life comes from. And yet we don't teach this in our schools.
No.
And it's like we don't teach nutrition for doctors. How can you not teach nutrition to doctors? They get 2 hours.
Right? Things are fucked up. Things are backwards as fuck.
Listen to this. You're going to like this. You see, the government, in their infinite ignorance, has set up a situation that's going to be totally self-destructive. Because by keeping cannabis illegal, the blips, the cannabis deficient people who don't use cannabis to begin with because they're too uptight, they will go to the pharmaceutical industry and the doctors and use healthcare national. The people who have brains and are cannabis aware and who are naturally more cannabinoid endowed will use the local resources in the States.
Right.
They will get healthier. It will cost very little money. The other people will get sicker and it'll cost a lot of money. And that epidemiology has already started. Yeah. We now know that people with cannabis who use cannabis have levels of diabetes. They're thinner. All against what the doctors would say should happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
All of
and I know exactly why it happens because CB2 turns on fat burning. Period.
Yeah.
And we make fat to protect us from burning sugar. So when you have overweight, it's not that you're trying to save for a later time of starvation. No, it's you're poisoning your body with the food you're eating, and your body's saying, "I don't want any more sugar. I'm going to turn what I have into fat, and if you keep insisting I eat the sugar, I'm going to become diabetic and not respond to insulin."
Your body's rebelling against yourself.
You want to get rid of diabetes? You don't have to take insulin.
Yeah.
You have to go on a fat-burning diet. And what did our country do? What did our government recommend? Fat-free food. Well, what happened? What are you burning when you're burning fat-free food? Carbohydrates. Well, that's why we have all the heart disease, all the Alzheimer's disease, all of these age-related illnesses are accumulating now because for the past 30 years, the idiots have been eating fat-free food because they were worried about getting fat in their arteries because the sugar companies figured it out. Hey, we'll just blame everything on fat.
Right.
You know, clogged arteries. Think of a clogged sewer pipe, right? Well, so if we don't eat the fat, we won't have the wrong. If you only eat fat, you burn fat. And when you burn fat, your arteries are clean.
Right.
And when you have HIV, that whole virus evolved in a system of differentiated, specialized cells, which happens when you're sugar burning, right?
Right.
So the plumbing is entirely different if you turn on fat burning. And HIV goes away. But you got to make sure you're taking enough cannabis. You know, a gram a day, like for cancer, for most people, should work. My friend took 50 grams of high quality oil in one day.
Oh. How did he consume it?
And how did
he ate it?
Spoonfuls.
And did he waller?
What happened was he has HIV for 26 years. He's also a scientist. He went to South Africa to the HIV meeting. And didn't take medicine for 2 weeks. Came back, had Kaposi's all over, and had to take major action. And the Kaposi's are very painful when they fall off with cannabis. So he goes into a cannabis coma for a few days and comes back, and the Kaposi's are gone. He's healthy and happy again.
Wow. Wow. And that was 50 grams of high-grade oil spooned down. Yeah.
So and he's done that once before.
How many days was he out?
He's gone for about 3-4 days.
He was gone for 3 more, just in a cannabis.
I don't know, because I can't communicate with him during those periods.
And just a straight up haze.
After 3 or 4 days, he's tripping, but he can speak.
Fuck
on the phone.
Me. You hear that? It's definitely, what we are saying. I mean, it's real shit. There's more stories out there that are happening of people getting healed by this, cured by this. Like. Well, you don't get rid of the HIV. He's got no viruses, but they hide out in your chromosomes. You know. But he's in a healthier place.
When you are on the antiretrovirals, you get dyslipidemia. You get a really big fat stomach, and you get a lump on your back because you're not burning fat, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it kept bothering me. Why does he still have the dyslipidemia if I'm right about my analysis, right? And now, after 3 years, it all went away. He doesn't have any dyslipidemia anymore.
Wow.
He doesn't take any antiretrovirals.
Yeah. Oh, he stopped taking them.
Well, he was resistant. That's when I met him, and that's when I gave him the oil.
So now he believes in the cannabis.
Well, it's the only thing he's been on for the past 6 years.
Boom.
And his viral load went from millions to undetectable with a spinal tap. His T-cell count went from 36, which is full-blown AIDS, up to normal. And he got rid of dyslipidemia.
These are real stories.
Tell Be Real about that rocker or rapper Heat guy or Frozen guy or whatever that you healed.
Freese, you know Freese.
Frost.
There we go.
Frost?
Kid Frost?
Yeah.
He had stomach cancer.
Yeah.
And he works with my former partner from Cannabis Science, Raymond Dabney. And Raymond calls me. He says, "Hey, he's got cancer." We got him oil, and he shit out his cancer.
Get out.
You ask him, and he's diabetic. He lost all his weight. Look at him now. He's not as
Yeah,
fat
I
as-
have seen him.
Yes, 'cause he's-
he did drop some weight.
Yes, because he was on oil.
Wow.
You burn fat, you get rid of weight.
There it is. Yeah. I mean,
All the shit that they talk about as health problems, the solution is fat burning and cannabis, period.
yeah, because I mean, with cannabis, it's protein and fats, right?
Well, if you're talking about eating this, I'm talking about like consuming. You know.
That's yeah.
But not really
just
getting
its
proteins, you
Just
just
its
get-
makeup.
The seeds are very healthy for you.
Yeah.
They have all the essential fatty acids and they have all the essential amino acids, so you can live off hemp seeds.
Yeah.
Actually, rumor was that Buddha, on his journey to enlightenment, lived off one hemp seed a day or something.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, that is a cool story.
Hey man, Dr. Bob, I want to thank you for taking the time to chop it up and educate these folks who probably have never heard it broken down to them like this before, but they need it.
I've got 90 YouTube videos out there that'll educate you from ground up.
Dr. Bob, check them out. What's your favorite cannabis? Because that's my
favorite
last
cannabis?
question. Whenever I do these smoke box interviews, that's always like, people in the comment board always want to know, hey, you didn't ask him what's his favorite strain.
Well, number one, because I'm an eater most of the
you
time. I
also-
don't have that strain variability.
Ah, right.
But what I like are what Steve Covey called soaring sativas.
You like sativas?
You know, those
okay.
where you just keep getting high. I don't take them because of my heart, because they
Right.
screw up your heart, the sativas, a little.
Yeah, they.
But, where you can be, you're tired and you take it and all of a sudden you're full of energy and ready to go. And, you're functional, you close your eyes, you're tripping. You open your eyes, you're functional and normal, close your eyes, you're tripping.
Right.
I love that.
Sativas, all right, man. Well, I want to thank you once again.
Thank
for
you, my
taking the
man. Be
time.
good.
Hell yeah. This has been another Smoke
It's
Box.
been my honor.
You've been educated, research Dr. Bob here, man. Where could they find your website or your YouTube channel?
There is a website, drbobmelamede.com, but it's not updated properly. I need help.
So your YouTube, pretty much.
The best thing to do is to go to my YouTube or my Facebook, but I'm 5,000 maxed out there, so...
But you can follow him, and you can go on YouTube, and you can type in Dr. Robert Melamede.
No, just Dr. Bob and
Or
cannabis.
Dr. Bob
will find
and
me.
cannabis. He's all over.
Word up, man. Leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Dr. Bob. Learn, because you're going to need to know in the future. I guarantee you. And you won't be sorry. Some of you guys might get healthy and get well.
Be able to look like we do.
You got to
when
be
you're
smart
past
enough to be
50.
free.
Yes.
Freedom means that you have responsibility.
That's right.
Yeah,
And I
touch
can't be an
50
idiot.
years old,
Be
yeah.
free, be smart, have responsibility.
Let me welcome you to the smoke box. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.
I hope this doesn't interfere with my piss test.
Where can we find you?
I'm all over the web. The best thing is I have about 90 videos.
So basically, Dr. Bob's not really a social media person. He doesn't do all that. He spends his time out in the streets, on the ground, making change, helping get the things done.
What I'm trying to do is go to the World Court and bring the various governmental agencies to the World Court for crimes against humanity.
Dr. Bob goes around the world and educates us on the endocannabinoids.
Why, right?
And he likes to get stoned.
No.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I would.